Hello to anyone watching this video. Like I said, I'm gonna start posting every day, because obviously I took a really long break and I shouldn't have, you know what I mean? And so today I want to talk about being alone. See, being alone is probably the hardest thing people nowadays can do because everyone, are so glued to their phones and phones, they have all sorts of ways of communicating to other people, through social media like Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, all those things. And so in a matter of seconds, you can just text someone and say, "Oh, I'm talking to this person, I'm talking to this person," you know what I mean? And people say, "Oh, that's a good thing." I agree, but there's obviously some bad things, like a lot of bad things to it, and this makes people, they find it really hard to, kind of not have anyone to communicate with. So if they don't like text somebody like every second of the day, they they don't feel, you know, fulfilled. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a big problem with like our generation because we always have all opportunities to talk to random people, to any people we want to, and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm socializing," you know. But that's in reality, it's not a good thing because being alone has so many things that people don't even know, And I for sure, have been through it. See, when me and my girlfriend broke up, that was probably the biggest thing. Being alone was so hard for me because she always talked to me. She was called. I was always on the phone with her. I was always with her. I was always talking to her. And when she broke up with me and blocked contact with me, I was so lost. I was checking my phone every second of the day, and I was just so not so like. I always was texting my friends saying, "Yo, you want to talk? Want to call?" Like just to fill that void, And it took me a while to, and I started like, even after my friends talked to me, they were like, I was like, damn, I don't feel anything. So I still feel empty. So I remember one time I just stopped. I generally just looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, I'm not doing this bullshit. So I stopped texting people. I stopped reaching to people. But there was this huge problem with me still, where I still asked people to hang out. I still wanted people to hang out with me, and I did. And I was like, even if I didn't want to, even if it was 12 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, "Yo, come over. I'm having alcohol or whatever." I would be like, "All right, bet." Even if I didn't want to, even if I had work in the morning, I just went because I didn't want to feel alone. I want to feel that. I want to feel the void in my heart that of being with somebody. And when I got home, I felt the same. You maybe there was some short-term dopamine for me, and that's probably why I went. That's probably why I didn't realize the consequences, but that's all it was, and it was not worth it, not a single bit. So every time I did that, I was pushing myself farther away from myself, and there became a time, 3 months later, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking done with all that shit. So I stopped hanging out with other people. Anyone texting me, I was like, no man, I'm sorry, I can't. And that first time, I remember it. My friends were like, "Oh, you want to watch this new movie that came out? All of the whole friend group is coming. 20 of them. All of them is coming. And if you don't come, it didn't say that, but if you don't come, that's like, you're gonna miss out on a lot." I remember saying, even I wanted to go. I wanted to go, but I was doing it for me, and I said no. I'm sorry, man. So they're like, all right. So I didn't go. I looked on their stories. They were like, oh, I looked on like their close friends' stories, and they were like, oh, it was so good, all this shit. And I was looking at myself. I was like, what did you do? But I woke up the next morning, and I felt I'm not gonna say I felt the same as if I felt a lot better with myself. I took that night alone where I was able to sleep early and just take my time and look at myself and talk to myself, and I was able to, fill the void in my heart by being with me, by being alone with me. And it's a big problem because people don't know how to do that, and I'll show you how. So first, you just need to block, like, if you really want to be locked in like me into this, like being alone, you need to delete social media. For me, social media has been like a really big part of my life because I got a phone when I was very young, and I've had Instagram, Snapchat, like all these things for so long. And I remember when my girlfriend broke up, I was looking at it, I was like, and I said remove the app, and I was like, I really want to do this. So, and I just did it. Like, everything was telling me, no, you shouldn't do this. What if someone reaches out? You know, I just did it anyway. And so you need to do it too. Because why? Because when you see everybody having fun, you know, you see everybody having like a good time with other people, you always you always have like that kind of hit in your brain saying, oh, I need to be with somebody to be happy. But in reality, it's not. Yeah. But everything about being alone just benefits you. Maybe not everything, but in ways where, you know, you understand yourself, which is a huge part of us. Because most of us don't even understand who we want. We don't even know what we want to do for our lives. We don't even know what we're doing in our life. You know, we just live. We just live life acting like God, something that fate and destiny is gonna carry us to where we belong. But in reality, it's not. Because we don't even know ourselves, we just let it go with the flow and flow with what other people's doing. And that's the biggest problem with our generation, because we don't even know ourselves. We don't know what we want to do in our lives and what truly makes us happy. We just find quick hits of, oh my god, we just find quick hits of dopamine and expect, you know, something will happen in our lives. And but in reality, it's not how it works. You know, and being alone, I've been alone for the past 6 months. You know, I've been just on my own, you know, sitting in my room, you know, saying no to a lot of like plans with my friends, you know, trying to block myself from the outside society. And I must say, it's been a lot better than if I kept like reaching out, trying to hang out. Because when you're alone, you know, you don't feel sad, you know, you feel alone, you know, like you don't feel sad anymore, you just feel alone, and that's okay. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it still hurts for me for that I'm here alone talking to a video right now, but that's okay because I'm happy. I'm not say happy, but I'm healthy, you know. I'm in the state I want to be in, even though it hurts, you know, even though everybody else is out there, you know, having fun with friends, you know. And I need this. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's not gonna be like this forever. Obviously, when I'm very truly comfortable by being alone, then maybe I'll, you know, start hanging out with friends a lot more. But as of right now, I think being alone right now helps me understand myself the most. It helps me become a much more strong-minded person. You know, and another thing is relationships. If you can't be alone in a relationship, then you're not ready for relationships. Sorry, you know, because you're always gonna, and I can tell you from the biggest perspective, after getting cheated on twice, and I could not be alone for the death of me. You know, I was always saying, can we call, can we talk, you know. And if she didn't give me that attention, you know, I couldn't reassure myself. So I just was like, no, I'm not talking to you. And that's how we broke up. Both times. 1-year relationships broke up like just like that, you know. And I think most of the reason was because I was alone, because I couldn't stand myself being alone. And I wasn't able to reassure myself. I was like, no, you need her, you know. But what about you? You need yourself too. And you need yourself. You need to find yourself and find what you truly need, because what you think you need is not what you need, you know. There's a lot of things in life that you have to do alone, because no one's gonna be there for you, you know. The only thing that's gonna be there, sorry, hold on. The only thing that's guaranteed is you. You know, if you're at the finish line, you're gonna be there. No, you don't know who else is gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You know, when you die, you don't know who's gonna be there, but you're gonna be there. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you're always gonna be with yourself. And if you aren't friends with that person, friends with yourself, if you don't know yourself, then you're not gonna be a good person. You're not gonna be a good person. You're not gonna be a healthy person. You're gonna be a very weak-minded person. And you won't understand yourself, and you won't know what you're gonna do with your life, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes you just need to be alone. You just need to take a reset in your life, look at yourself and say, what can I do to make you better? You know, because no one else is gonna go out their way and help you. No one else is gonna drag you out of the bed at 5 a.m. to get to work, you know. It's gonna be you every single time. Because there might be a couple people, maybe like 2 or 3 people that truly care about you, But you know for a fact that it's only you that can do you, you know. No one's gonna run those miles. No one's gonna lift those weights, you know. No one's gonna do that for you but you know. And I think it's a big problem because people think that, you know, someone else is gonna do it for them, someone else, you know, because our generation, you know, we don't care. You don't tend to care about the future right now. We care about the present, and we care about right now. Oh, our mom and dad are taking care of us, they're paying our taxes, they're giving us food on the table. But that's not it, man, you know. Like, they think that that's what it's gonna be for the rest of our lives, but no. Okay. So, try being alone. Might take a while to adjust, because, you know, it's hard. It took me a while. It took me a lot. It took me a lot of myself to do that for myself. And I'm happy where I am. I can have fun by myself. I can be by myself and not care. I could see people having fun and not care about what they're doing, but care about what I'm doing. Because I am me, you know, and you are you. So, this was a good video. I think it was, you know. I'm gonna start doing more of these because they help me out. They help me become a better person too. So, yeah. Peace out. Hope you have a good night, morning, whatever you are. Yeah. Peace.